Hey Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. I am excited today because the one genre I want to be breaking down about Eurovision 2024 are our bops. So let's get into it. Eurovision 2024. I got a new video. Alesia Michelle. Hey girl. I'm ready to go. How you feeling? Eurovision fam. Yeah. Are you ready for the show? We gotta keep it real. Let's go. Hey, if you've never been to my channel before, welcome. If you love the Eurovision Song Contest, what are you waiting for? This is your opportunity to like this video and to subscribe. Okay, so it's pretty clear. This year is a upbeat party kind of Eurovision Song Contest year. And I think we kind of needed it. I think we needed something that felt like a party, felt like a little bit of fun. I don't know if the song that is winning this year is going to be a song that's giving us fun, that's giving us party. It could be. It could be. Some of y'all want it to be, right? But ultimately, I had to ask folks, what is a bop? I feel like over the past couple of years in the Eurovision pockets online, we've been hearing this phrase bop, thrown around. And, in my day, we just called something, an up-tempo pop song, or an electro dance song, or sometimes, even just European house. But, I love this sort of, I would say, umbrella term that bop is, because when you say bop, it just makes you happy, right? It just makes you want to dance. So when I asked people, online, like, how would you define a bop? I got a couple of things. So I'm going to throw up some comments here so then you can see just like some of the stuff that people said. So ultimately, I think we can agree that the definition of bop is completely subjective. And I think if you asked me what my definition of a bop is, I feel like it is a pop song that, of course, is upbeat and is formulated to make you get on your feet and dance. Okay, that is what I would say simply. Now, I would say I could add some caveats because I do think there's something about a bop that feels more formulaic than what you might get. So some people were asking, like, well, Alesia, do you consider Greece's entry, Zari, to be a bop? And I would say it gives me the vibe of a bop, but I think if we think about potentially the creative process of this, I don't know if they sat down and said, we're trying to make a bop. And I do think that there's something intentional about crafting a bop. So on the other side of that, if you ask me, Alesia, do you think that Austria's entry this year is a bop? And I would say, yes, I think that their goal was to make a song that was going to bring people on the dance floor and allow our artist, Colleen, to have an opportunity to give us that well-executed, very clean dance break. So to me, this was a song that started off with the principle of being like a bop and with the hope of being a bop. So now, of course, if we're talking about bops, I've given you my definition. You can disagree. Of course, like I say all the time on my channel, you do not have to agree with me. That would be boring. But we can also agree because that's fun. So I would say I kind of feel like this year, if we're thinking like who's in charge of the bops, what song is really like the bop of all bops? And I'm not going to lie. I know some people have kind of been thinking Italy, they don't know if they want to add that sort of in the bop category. You know what I'm saying? And I can understand why some people might not want to put Italy in the bop category. Here's the challenge though. I think what Italy is a bop that's good. And just really well executed. And I think because the quality of the song is so high, it's coming from Italy. They sort of gave us this introduction to the song in a refined way because everything that happens on the Sanremo stage is just refined. It's just not going to feel like raw. And there's something about a bop. Can I just say this? There's something about a bop that makes me kind of feel like, you're in a dingy club. The floor is concrete. It might even be a little bit sticky and the smell might not be great, but like you're dancing and having a good time anyway. You know what I'm saying? Are you following me on that? I could be alone. That's okay. I think that what Italy is doing is a well-executed bop. Period. Point blank. And so if you're asking me the bop of all bops this year, I do think Italy is edging out some of the other bops that we have. I would also say Spain is a bop. I think people have not been putting Spain in the bop territory because it's coming from a seasoned performer, a woman of a certain age. But if you really look down to it and sort of the structure of the song, and I would say even the execution of the song, and, the feeling it elicits from a crowd when it is being performed, I think that Nebulosa Zora is pretty much textbook definition a bop. Now, let me talk about a bop that is underrated this year. I gotta talk about my girl, Sarah Bonici. And I will say, I don't appreciate the way with which some people are sleeping on this entry. I think that this song is very good. I think that it is going to be well executed, but I also believe that it might not advance. Would I love to see it? I would. But honestly, this year, can we just be real, y'all? There's a lot of countries I want to see advance this year. How do you feel? I mean, isn't there a lot? I just think that the quality level this year is so ridiculously high. Yeah. Okay. So Sarah Bonici, I think, is giving bop perfection. I think it's going to sound good. I think it's going to hit people. Do I think that will be enough to make it advance? I don't think so. I really don't. And I kind of hate that. And I will say, y'all will never be able to fully convince me that we need the juries back in the semifinals. I'm standing on this hill. You will not convince me, okay? I will not be convinced. But I think that there will be some persuasive arguments made to make me want to change up that opinion this year. That will happen this year on the stage. Another bop I want to talk about, Cyprus. This is your formulaic, very strategic bop. The way that the song is structured, there's something about it that just feels like, yeah, it's a bop. This is what it is. This is what we're giving on the stage. Now, is this a bop that I am bumping in my car? It is not. And don't just take that as me not liking it. Literally, it is no longer available on Apple Music in the United States. So even if I wanted to be bopping along to it in my car, I would not have the ability to do so. Now, most of the time when we're talking about bops, we do tend to focus on our female performers. But I'm not going to do this in this video. I'm going to tell you Lithuania Song is a bop as far as I'm concerned. Lithuania Song is good. It makes me want to dance. It makes me feel like I'm in a trance. It's something about what Lithuania is doing that feels like just this formulaic pop perfection, electro synth, kind of cold. It's very cool. I remember when I was doing my reaction to Lithuania's song, and I was like, most of the time when I like entries like this that are sort of that electro synth, a little bit darker kind of pop, there's a quirk to the performance. But this one just feels cool. It just feels like absolutely cool. So yes, Lithuania, if we're talking about top bops this year, I think you're up there. And if I'm going to talk about top bops this year, and I'm going to expand beyond, my pop girly bops, I got to talk about Ali Alexander. Y'all, Dizzy is good. He's going to sound good. I think it's going to look good. We have the staging director confirmed. I don't know. I don't want this to be famous last words, but I have high hopes. My expectations are now risen. And I am thinking that the UK is going to deliver us something of quality on the stage. Dare I say, could Ali Alexander be get the highest amount of jury points of our male bop participants? It could happen. I might be saying something crazy. But I believe that it could happen. If it happens, you heard it here first. Well, not here first. You probably heard it from some person on X who, was maybe even delusional. But I am saying that delusion might come true, UK Eurovision fans. Y'all want to talk about Georgia's song? Georgia's song is a bop. Now, I do tend to separate a little bit of the ethnic tracks from bop territory because, again, remember, if we're going off of my definition, I think that there is more of a pop, up-tempo kind of formulaic song structure that they play on. And I do think the ethnic songs that are sort of employing ethnic vocal techniques, if we're using some native language, if we're thinking of our instrumentation and incorporating ethnic instrumentation, then I kind of feel like that begins to somewhat elevate the genre, push the limits a little bit, and then I think we're in the ethno-pop kind of territory. But yes, I guess as I'm having this conversation, I have to recognize that ethno-pop can lead to a bop. And so we're here with Georgia in that category. And I would say, Georgia's song, I think, is going to be executed well. But as a song, I'm going to be real with y'all. Like, I like it, but I don't love it. I just feel like in this sort of ethno-pop territory, if I'm then making comparisons, then I have to compare it to like Greece. Then I have to compare it to Italy. Heck, I have to start comparing it to Eurovision songs that came out years ago. Can I get a Doom Tech Tech, anybody? I'm just saying, it's just, if I look at the grand scheme of the ethno-pop bops that we have had grace the Eurovision stage, although I think this is going to be executed so well that it is worthy of advancement, I am kind of like, but are you besting in the genre? And I don't know if I would say Georgia is besting in the genre as a composition and a studio cut. You following what I'm saying? You can disagree. That's what we're here for. Do some of y'all want to talk about Poland being a bop? Here's the thing. Poland's song I like. I do think it is a pop song. But is this really making you dance? That's the part where Poland's entry for me is falling down a little bit in the bop category and making me just go, that's okay. Like, you could still be a great song and not be a bop. You know what I mean? So I'm living in a world where I think Poland's entry, although good, y'all know I like it. I do listen to the song. It's not a skip. I don't think I'd categorize it as a bop, but I see that some of y'all have. So, okay. Well, those are my thoughts on some of the bops we have this year. Is there a song that I mentioned and you agree with what I had to say? Drop down and talk to me in the comments below. Is there a song that maybe I left out and you're like, Alesia, how can you forget this bop of bops for Eurovision 2024? Drop down, talk to me in the comments below. This is a conversation, and don't worry, I've got more content coming for you. I am going to be in Malmö. Oh my gosh, Eurovision 2024 is here. And don't forget, I have some events for you on the ground. And also, we're going to be doing a watch party in Washington, D.C. I'm going to put those information and all of the places that you can go to get the details because you want to reserve your spot today. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.